Hello and welcome back to Railroads Online. So today we are taking out not the climax. We have just kind of put that one on the sideline for now. And as you can see, Montezuma is over there, but we are going to take out the Glenbrook. We took out the Shay, decided to put the Shay on box cars, and just going to leave it out on that one. The I don't know. Here's the thing. The Shay, like it a lot, very slow. Um, so definitely no long runs in its future. So I figured the box cars with the tools, that's just a pretty short little run out there, and it seemed to handle the box cars okay at the time. So it's out there, box car, and it's got a caboose on it. So that's where that one went, which we will get a look at on the way out with the Glenbrook. This is kind of the first run with the Glenbrook, not even kind of. I mean, short of backing it into these, I haven't moved it. So there you go. This is the first run with the Glenbrook, and I figured take a look at that. One thing I did do is I did uncap the frame rate. I used to have the frame rate at 60 FPS locked, and with the update, I don't know, it just seemed like it was visually a little different to me with the trees, so I uncapped the frame rate, and that seemed to smooth everything out again. So just because we've always kind of kept everything up to date with where we're at up with the settings and stuff, we are now running uncapped frame rate. And like I said, that seemed to smooth out the little bit of, it just kind of seemed like things were almost stuttering a little bit, which is weird. So I just uncapped it, and that seemed to get rid of that problem. So there you go. Show off the cylinder cocks with the Glenbrook. That same classic horn. And the bell is pretty much the same. This one, if there's anything, downside to this locomotive that I see, is it is pretty much just a carbon copy of Eureka. And it's my understanding that this one should be a little bit stronger than Eureka, and currently that does not seem to be the case. So, but nevertheless, this is another great looking locomotive, though I do have to admit I still think the Eureka is a better looking loco. Although I do like this a little better. I guess I just like the brighter wood color and stuff maybe of Eureka a little better. Plus that, well, I don't even know. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm sure this one will grow on me. It's the first time I'm in it, so I don't want to pass judgment on it. Let's stick with that, I guess. But we are out in loco number 10. I have noticed this thing with the light here. I noticed this when I was looking at it before. In fact, we're going to jump out and take a look at that quick. Because the light is lit. But not lit. Because you turn it on and it gets brighter, and then it goes out. And if you turn it back on, it doesn't have like the double click function. So this is not like a low beam, high beam setting. This is like a background lighting effect. Has a bit of a problem because it doesn't turn the light on, but it shows like the light's on when you jump in it. So there is that bug. One thing too that's different with this, if you notice, you open the windows, all the windows and doors on a side open, including the ones up front, and that's the same on both sides. So there is that as well. No sunroof, but basically power windows. So there's that. Working for it. Things I have noticed so far with the Glenbrook anyway. So as you can see, we did turn around and pick up 3 flats, which is generally what we run for steel pipe. So I think the plan for this one is going to be to run it out to the Ironworks, and it is going to be a flat ground worker out there. Don't see too many hills in Glenn's future. He's going to be a flat ground worker out there with the Eureka. Try to work this one a parking spot out there with Eureka so we can leave it right out there for it. This one's kind of nice, at least it's a little faster for the flat ground. The Shay, I'll tell you what, that thing is so slow. Your guy can definitely outrun it. So that's a bit of a drawback with the Shay, obviously, because that thing is so slow. It's really like hard to see using it for anything. Now, granted, it's, you know, a yard locomotive, or from what I've been told, is that model Shay is really a yard locomotive. What is going on? So it's not something you would really see out running long runs. It's more of a heavy pull yard locomotive. Or, like I said, so my explanation has been, this is pretty jank. I don't really like that. That's got to get smoothed out at some point. But you can't get it all perfect the first time, that's for sure. Well, you can. Some people can. I can. I'm not that. That's not my track laying style. I'll come in and throw improvements on it a bunch of times. Where's that locomotive? Let's go. Glenn's taking his sweet time. So there's the 33 Heisler we did bring down with the 10 stake cars on it. So that made it out of the mountains just fine. So we are able to pick up some more wood for the coal mine out there. Definitely needs it. That's going to be our next big run, but I wanted to get the new locomotives out of the start spot and get them somewhere. So the 48 is still out there at the coal mine until we get that load of wood out there, and then we'll use that one to drive back with. But I'm not sure what the 48's plan is going to be. I was going to put that on box cars just because it's so big and bulky. I thought it'd be cool out there, but then when the Shay was so slow, I had to find a use for the Shay that was short, and it's not super powerful as far as tractive effort, so I didn't want it trying to go up some steep hills or anything like that. Or I probably would have put it on the steel pipe run up to the refinery. But Cook's got a little more oomph than the Shay, so we're going to leave the Cook on that. And that's just what it is. Not going to sacrifice performance of the rail just to turn around and have new ones. So this is going to go out, and we have the Cook Mogul. If you're not familiar with it, we're using that out at the refinery for a pipe load, and we've always just kind of drug it between the refinery and the Ironworks, and now we'll just have these trains specifically dedicated to their spots. So, you know, there you go. That's what Glenn is going to do for now. We just got to get it out there, and then we'll have to build it a siding somewhere. I'm not really sure. I probably want to site it somewhere by Eureka, just because I think they'll look good together. So probably find a way to put a siding in out at the oil fields for this one, being that's where we generally leave Eureka, or one of the Eurekas. The other Eureka we have delivering oil barrels to the dock. It works for it, and it looks good doing it. So I figure that's about the best looking locomotive in the game. It might as well make the most money on its load. Then it's just cool looking. So that's the thought there. I do like the blue trim on the tinder on this one. That's actually pretty poppin'. See, we should just be able to kick this thing open. It's not going to go any faster than it's already going. But, oh wait. This is the one spot we actually do have to pay a little bit of attention as we send it, because I don't think we want to send it. Which one do I want to send it on? What's out there? Well, I guess it shouldn't really matter. Oh, yes it does, because Montezuma's sitting on that rail. So it's got to go out on this one. Or you're going to run head first into Montezuma. I know when I was taking the Shay out there, I was backing it down and didn't really pay attention to the fact that I had a Climax sitting on the track, so I backed right into a Climax, and the Climax won. The Shay just seemed like it hit a brick wall. It's kind of funny. But the Shay will not win in a collision with the Climax, that's for sure. Heisler and the Class 70 are still the big guns in the game, that's for sure. So hopefully we'll get something to contend with those big dogs sometime soon. We've got an awful lot of light pull early locomotives recently, which is great, but it'd be nice now to see if we can get a big stick on the big end for people who've been playing for a while. We haven't had much to stretch out for new locomotives as far as that goes. These ones you just kind of got to find a use for somewhere in your layout. And I still think that Climax with that smokestack's one of my favorite looking locomotives. I like that smokestack, probably the best out of all the stacks in the game. The Climax still blows the wheels off, spins them like mad, so I still not a big fan of using that one. I don't like the fact that you can get it to spin the tires and hit the brakes and it'll stop with all the wheels going. Something's wrong with that, in my opinion. So until that gets fixed, you don't see me running too many Climaxes. When they fix that, I'll probably have the Climax out a heck of a lot more. So we'll see how that goes. I noticed that the Shay, when we originally got it, would do the same thing. You could get it to spin the tires and then bring it to a stop with the brakes with all the wheels going. That does not appear to be the case anymore, so the Shay got a fix that the Climax needs, at least in my opinion. Which, who knows if that's right or wrong, but I mean, there's no way that a locomotive comes to a rest when you hit the brakes and all the wheels are spinning forward. So, pretty sure that's a physics thing. I might be wrong, but I claim to be no expert in the field. But something seems wrong with that to me. And here we go out by the old house. Still gonna delete. I think we're gonna delete this one, and then we have to come in here and get. We have some spare locomotives and stuff, I think, still in that shed. So we'll bring those out, delete the rest of this track, probably delete this, and then I think we'll take this big, huge open space that we have and put in some sort of big rail yard, just to have one. We definitely, excuse me, don't need it. Never had a big rail yard layout, but I think that's kind of maybe just the next progression in the game at this point, would be to add some sort of big rail yard. Definitely will be cleaner than the last storage yard we had built in there. That was supposed to be a long-term put away the trains. Didn't think they were going to get transferred over to the beta track, so at the time it was just kind of putting away the old locomotives. And as soon as we finished that, it turns out we pretty much got all of it converted over in the beta to where, you know, we have the version we do now. So, but it was fun in the building, I have to say. Still have to come in here, definitely straighten out this track. You know, whatever, this thing. We're going to bring it in line with the other one. This one just looks so much better. This one's, you know, running through the woods when it shouldn't be, if you will. Oops. You know, but this was like, I almost want to say this was some of the first beta stuff we pushed out. I'm not sure, first or second. I was definitely not good with getting the angles and stuff on that new. And then, you know, we did just kind of follow the old track out here too. So, I mean, that's what the old spline stuff used to do. And we just laid, you know, this stuff in the place of the old stuff. So that probably is really why it's all kittywampus too. Where this stuff, we actually got away from that. That's in that video. We actually just deleted that line and replaced the whole line. Went a lot smoother, to be honest, than the rest of the, you know, try to remove short sections and replace it exactly in place. The new splines just lay so much smoother. Do have to say, I was driving out in the Shea earlier, and the toolbox that's on the walk rail is way cool. That's pretty cool. And then I noticed it's got the gears all on one side. That's the same side that the toolbox on. So that might be a Shea thing. I don't know. I suppose with all the exterior gears like that, they probably needed some frequent maintenance, though I don't know. I know the Shea has a lot of support. I'm pretty sure on the poll that we took with the 3 new locomotives, the Shea is still leading, I think, in the favorite of the new 3 locomotives poll. So feel free to add your vote and comments to that one. Alright, arriving to our destination. There is the Shea. At least it looks pretty good on the boxcars, I think. Definitely shows it's not a huge locomotive, but I don't think it'll have any problems pulling that stuff around. Anyway, everything out here is pretty flat, so I'm assuming it can pull it. It's definitely not going to pull it anywhere fast. That's for sure. Boy, is that thing slow, I have to say. Okay, you know, you can definitely outrun it. It's a locomotive. Like, you can set it to go in a direction and go wherever you feel like, because you'll beat it there. The rail, I do have to comment that the beta rail has been running absolutely flawlessly, to be honest. Haven't had derail problems, haven't had any kind of problems. Of course, I mean, we fixed problems that were in our old track and have smoothed some things out, so I guess that's not too big a shocker that we haven't really had any derailment problems, but it does lay down smooth. I will say that. Nice shot of the Loco coming by. And there is our ghost of the rail, if you will. No number, no name. Shay. Yeah, still disappointed that I didn't actually name that one properly. Definitely not intentional. Boy, we gotta switch every switch in the game. Not really, but got a lot of switches on this run. But then we have not obviously been out to this end of the rail for a while. That's the only time I miss dev speed is when it comes to running up to switch rail, switch the switches. At least now we have a lot less switches to have to flip. I will say that. That's a positive. Auto switches I still think is the greatest thing that they've added for solo players. I mean, that's really a mass improvement for solo players. Even multiplayer, but I mean, really, that helps the solo player so much. Excuse me. Here's another switch. We are just going to kick this thing over onto the other rail. Definitely not going to take the long scenic route. And that switch is good. Probably even have one more pulling into the yard. Hopefully Eureka isn't in the way currently. Would really like to see these two side by side. Haven't had a chance to see that yet. Definitely did not get too creative with the name on this one, obviously. But I thought Glenn was the first thing that came to mind, and very fitting. Everything seems to be working. Alright, one more switch. Are we going faster? Hopefully we're going fast enough to get, or slow enough to get away from this thing. A bit. I think we'll dump this one on rail number 2. Oh, that's perfect. Wow. Something I didn't have to switch. Huh. Figures. Alright. Wait a minute. Wait. That's not where we want you. My bad. Good enough. See if we can get this somewhere up by Eureka. We can take a look at the two side by side. Will be the goal. Sure hope this isn't too close. These oil ones, I am not a huge fan of these oil loading spots. Made that clear before, but you know, whatever. It's like there's gotta be a better way. The plugins are too small, the pipes are too long. I don't know. I don't like enough about that one. I like running oil, but I don't like loading oil. See if we can roll right up here. Alright, there we are. So, Eureka. And... well, this isn't actually Eureka, is it? No, the flags are down here. We actually have the flags up there on our actual Eureka copy, but whatever. It's a Eureka and Glenbrook side by side, so there we go. Call that one a win, a success. It is at its home and its industry. So there you go, Glenbrook's first run on the Ant Inc. Railroad. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you get a chance, like, share, subscribe. Subscriptions are free, but they sure do help the channel. Y'all have a great day.